Have you ever felt like life is slipping through your fingers? Maybe you're constantly juggling tasks and feeling overwhelmed, or perhaps you're just frustrated that things aren't progressing as you'd like. What if I told you that just by adopting 7 simple habits inspired by Stoic philosophy, you could change your life within just 1 week? It may sound unbelievable, but trust me, I've been there. I struggled with stress, negative thoughts, and a sense of stagnation. But by practicing these Stoic habits, I experienced a shift that completely changed my perspective on life. In this video, I'll take you through each of these transformative habits, explain how I implemented them in my daily routine, and show you how you can do the same. So let's jump right in. 1. The Stoic practice of gratitude. Embracing what is one of the first Stoic practices that truly transformed my life was the habit of practicing gratitude. It might sound simple, but it wasn't always easy for me to embrace. The Stoics, particularly Marcus Aurelius, emphasized the importance of accepting life as it comes and being grateful for what you have, rather than focusing on what's missing or what's wrong. They called it amor fati, loving your fate. Instead of pushing against the challenges life throws at us, Stoics encourage us to embrace them fully, knowing they are part of our growth. I started by taking a few minutes each morning to reflect on my life and write down 3 things I was grateful for. These didn't have to be huge accomplishments or life-changing events, just simple things. It could be something as basic as having a roof over my head, being able to breathe freely, or the support of loved ones. Initially, it was challenging. I found myself overthinking, questioning whether these small moments really mattered. But as days passed, I began to notice something profound. My perspective began shifting. Gratitude opened up my mind to the present moment, making me feel more grounded and at peace. It was no longer about wishing for what I didn't have, but appreciating the abundance in front of me. Now I encourage you to try this simple practice. Each morning, take 5 minutes to write down 3 things you're grateful for. It may feel awkward at first, but stick with it. The more you do it, the more you'll notice how much good is already in your life. This small practice is a Stoic key to peace of mind and emotional resilience. As you focus on what's going well, you'll find that your attitude toward challenges shifts too. Because when you focus on gratitude, your world feels less overwhelming and more manageable. 2. The Stoic discipline of regular exercise, strengthening mind and body. The Stoics believed that in order to be truly resilient, we need to cultivate both mental and physical strength. This is where the habit of regular exercise comes into play. For me, physical discipline didn't just mean lifting weights or running for hours. It was about understanding that a strong body supports a strong mind. Incorporating regular exercise into my routine wasn't just about the physical benefits, it was about building mental toughness. When you push yourself physically, you challenge your limits, and that builds resilience. I started with simple exercises, focusing on consistency rather than intensity. I made sure I exercised at least 30 minutes each day, whether it was a walk, a quick home workout, or stretching. The key wasn't in how hard I worked out, but in doing it consistently. The more I stuck with it, the more I noticed a mental shift. I became more patient with myself, and my self-discipline improved. Stoicism teaches us that we have control over our actions, and regular exercise reinforced this by helping me see that even small acts of discipline build a foundation for a stronger character. The real value came from making the decision to act day after day, regardless of how I felt. So, if you're not already exercising regularly, start small. Whether it's a short walk, some yoga, or a light jog, begin with something manageable. As you build this habit, not only will you notice improvements in your physical health, but you'll also feel stronger mentally and emotionally. The discipline you develop from exercising regularly will carry over into other areas of your life. 3. The Stoic virtue of sleep. Rest as a tool for resilience. This one surprised me the most. As someone who used to pride myself on working long hours and sacrificing sleep, I never realized how important rest was for both mental and physical well-being. The Stoics believed in the idea of balance, and this extends to sleep as well. In their teaching, sleep wasn't just about physical rest. It was a necessary tool for rejuvenating the mind, strengthening the body, and maintaining clarity. I quickly realized that neglecting sleep was undermining my productivity and well-being. I began to prioritize getting 7 to 8 hours of sleep every night. It wasn't always easy. I had to adjust my schedule and be more mindful of my evening routine. But the difference it made was immediate. I woke up feeling more refreshed, my thoughts were clearer, and my emotional reactions were more controlled. By following a Stoic approach to sleep, I learned that rest is not a luxury, but a necessary practice for anyone who wants to maintain resilience. Sleep allows us to reset, to reflect on the challenges of the day, and to prepare ourselves for the next. It helps us show up as the best versions of ourselves, both physically and mentally. If you're someone who struggles to get enough sleep, try setting a consistent bedtime and stick to it. Your body and mind will thank you.
4. The Stoic practice of hydration, treating the body as a sacred vessel. When it comes to self-care, hydration is often overlooked, but it's one of the most important habits I've adopted. The Stoics believed in treating the body with respect, understanding that our physical well-being directly impacts our mental clarity and emotional balance. For me, this meant prioritizing hydration, drinking enough water throughout the day to stay energized and focused. Initially, I wasn't mindful of how much water I drank. I'd get busy, forget to hydrate, and end up feeling sluggish and unfocused. But after reading about the importance of hydration in Stoic philosophy, I made it a priority. I started carrying a water bottle with me at all times and made sure to drink water before, during, and after meals. I also began to consciously check in with myself throughout the day to see if I was feeling thirsty. The results were almost immediate. Not only did I feel more alert, but my mood stabilized as well. Stoicism teaches us that small, consistent actions lead to bigger transformations, and staying hydrated was one of those small actions that made a big difference in my overall well-being. So next time you're feeling sluggish or unfocused, check in with yourself. Are you properly hydrated? It's a simple practice, but it's one that can drastically improve your energy and mental clarity. 5. The Stoic commitment to waking up early, seizing the day with purpose. Waking up early might sound like a challenge, but it's one of the most powerful habits you can cultivate, especially if you want to lead a purposeful life. For the Stoics, the early hours of the day were sacred. They believed that how you start your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, often wrote about the importance of beginning the day with intentionality, focusing on the things that truly matter. I took this to heart and began waking up an hour earlier than usual. The first thing I did was avoid distractions like checking my phone. Instead, I spent that time reflecting on my goals, journaling, and setting my intentions for the day. It wasn't always easy, but the benefits became clear very quickly. By waking up early, I had time for myself before the chaos of the day began. I felt more in control of my time and my mind. If you struggle with waking up early, try setting a goal to wake up just 15 minutes earlier than usual. Gradually increase the time as you get comfortable. You'll find that the quiet, uninterrupted time in the morning is invaluable for planning your day, reflecting on your goals, and setting yourself up for success. 6. The Stoic practice of prioritizing self-care, caring for the whole self. Self-care has become a buzzword in today's world, but for the Stoics, it was a crucial part of leading a virtuous life. Self-care isn't about indulgence or luxury. It's about taking care of your mental, emotional, and physical health so that you can perform your duties with strength and clarity. For me, this meant recognizing when I was running on empty and needed to take a step back. I started listening to my body and mind more, scheduling regular breaks, and allowing myself time to recharge. Whether it was a quiet walk in nature, a few minutes of meditation, or simply sitting in silence, I made self-care a non-negotiable part of my routine. This Stoic habit taught me that self-care isn't selfish, it's essential. By taking care of myself, I could show up as my best self for others. So, I challenge you to ask yourself, how often do you make time for your own well-being? Make self-care a priority, and you'll find that you have more energy and clarity to tackle everything else in your life. 7. The Stoic focus on healthy relationships, building meaningful connections. One of the most overlooked aspects of Stoic philosophy is how it guides us to build and maintain healthy relationships. When I first delved into Stoicism, I was surprised by how much emphasis it places on the people we surround ourselves with and how we engage with them. The Stoics didn't just focus on individual self-discipline, they also emphasized the importance of fostering meaningful connections with others. For me, this was a game changer. It's easy to get caught up in the hustle of life and neglect the people who truly matter. But Stoicism teaches us that our relationships are a reflection of our values and the kind of person we aspire to be. The Stoics encourage us to nurture relationships based on virtue, honesty, and mutual respect. They believe that every person we encounter is a part of the larger whole, and the way we treat others should be a direct reflection of our inner strength and character. In practical terms, this meant I had to be intentional about the people I allowed into my life. I stopped spending time with toxic individuals who drained my energy or made me feel worse about myself. Instead, I focused on cultivating relationships with people who challenged me to be better, who shared similar values, and who were genuinely supportive of my growth. But Stoicism also taught me something critical, that we cannot control other people. We can't force them to treat us a certain way or expect them to behave in a way that we think is right. The only thing we can control is our own actions and responses. If someone treats us poorly, the Stoic response is to not react impulsively with anger or frustration, but to recognize that their actions are a reflection of them, not of us. It's about maintaining emotional control and not letting the actions of others disturb our peace of mind. Furthermore, the Stoics remind us that relationships should be based on virtue, not expectations. We should give without expecting anything in return. This has completely transformed the way I view friendships and family connections. Instead of holding on to resentments or expecting people to behave a certain way, I now approach relationships with a spirit of giving and understanding. This shift has allowed me to build deeper, more meaningful connections that are grounded in mutual respect and shared values. Another aspect of Stoic relationships that I found particularly powerful is the concept of sympatheia, which means that we are all interconnected. Our well-being is tied to the well-being of others. The Stoics teach us that by helping others, we also help ourselves. This idea has encouraged me to be more empathetic and supportive, not just for the sake of others, but also because it enriches my own life. Helping someone in need, whether emotionally or practically, creates a sense of fulfillment and strengthens the bonds between us. Lastly, Stoicism has helped me understand that not all relationships are meant to last forever. People come into our lives for different reasons, and sometimes it's necessary to let go of relationships that no longer serve us or align with our values. This doesn't mean holding grudges or harboring ill feelings. Instead, it means acknowledging that people evolve, and so do our needs and values. By applying this perspective, I've been able to walk away from toxic or unfulfilling relationships with a sense of peace, rather than resentment or regret. By integrating these 7 Stoic habits into my daily life, I've experienced a profound shift in how I approach my emotions, my work, my relationships, and even the way I see life's challenges. Stoicism isn't about perfection or never feeling negative emotions. It's about learning to navigate life with resilience, clarity, and purpose. These habits aren't just abstract concepts. They're practical tools that I've used to improve my life, and they can do the same for you. If you've been struggling with stress, negative thoughts, or just feeling stuck in your routines, I encourage you to try incorporating these Stoic habits. Start small, be patient with yourself, and remember, the goal isn't to be perfect, but to be better than you were yesterday. Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear your thoughts on these Stoic habits and how they've impacted your life. Drop a comment below with your experiences, or if you have any other Stoic practices that have worked for you. And don't forget to subscribe for more content on Stoic philosophy, self-improvement, and how to live a more intentional, fulfilling life.